You know, the biggest thing is like, you know, I believe like a Bruce Lee philosophy, which is you can do 10,000 kicks one time or one kick 10,000 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you want to have that perfect thing, because once you master that, you got to have like your rock. Like to me, I own 4 different companies, but my bread and butter is this. You know what I mean? So like I always want to have plan B, C, and D, because you don't want all your eggs in one basket. But at the same time, if I'm not focused on my main basket, there's no point to have other ones. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to make sure that you have like your rock. You know what I mean? That you can count on to be your principal fundamental, and then everything else is just enhancing and influenced by that main rock, you know. So to me, it's like I own a life insurance company, but that's what made me get into the marketing, branding, and doing some stuff with that. Then I got into my lead company, and I own rental houses, which is just, you know, from reading Tony Robbins and money management, it's just important to diversify a portfolio. My best buddy, who's paralyzed, doesn't shut up about real estate, and he beat that into me too. So like, to tell you about me, man, I started working for this company at 23, right out of college. I literally, you know, packed up out of the Lax House, dude, it was game on. You know, and then when I, you know, my like opportunity introduction to this, my best friend's father was the president of a union. And that's what really opened this up to me, was he's like, this company handled my benefits. My father, amongst a lot of other people, got screwed over when Bernie Madoff ripped off half the country, stole millions and millions of dollars from working families in that Ponzi scheme. And it always made me, I always wanted to be in finance. I love people, but I wanted to help people, and that's why this company really spoke to me when I interviewed for them. So, like most human beings, once it started to click for me, what happens when you find out you're naturally good at something? The average person is going to do what? Get lazy, right? When you find out you're good at something, then you put in less effort because you're maintaining the results. That was me in a nutshell my whole life, until July of 2011, when one of my best friends on the planet jumped off a boat and got paralyzed. And he was like, you know, imagine like your big brother in life, a couple years older, always took you under your wing, and that was him to me. And when I watched that happen to him, I almost saw myself in him, of like, I felt like he was one of the most talented people I looked up to, and I feel like, you know, he took it for granted, and then that happened, and watched the dog in him come out of like, I'm not going to accept this, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to use this as inspiration to just not use a disability as a reason why he can't live his life. And in fact, to me, he lives his life more now than he ever has. But I dug deep, and I really took over all his responsibilities and took a demotion professionally so he could get a paycheck while he was in the hospital for 9 months. So I ran his whole part of the agency, and then my mentor, Duran Oldham, who was a U.S. interrogator. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that you love. He's 6 foot 3'4", you know, 250, 300-pound man, but he, high school education, was an athlete, but had a family, you know, and joined the military at 18, became a U.S. interrogator. So he worked for the company, you know, when he got out of the military after 10 years, but that's who mentored me, and he beat the bullshit out of me. You know what I mean by that? Is like I have no gray. I don't live in the cut corners mentality, because when you're mentored by someone that was in the military, it's, you better do things the hard right way, and don't make up excuses if you can't get it done. So I took that from him and instilled that into myself, but I didn't use the fear-based style of the military version, which I didn't think Duran did as much, but for somewhat that's just his style. To me, it was more of using the knowledge and amazing lessons he poured into me, and then taking that with my personality of I just love people to death, you know what I mean? And then I started teaching, coaching, and then at you know, 2013 at 25, Duran trusted me to open up his first Southern Tier office, and I got a $250,000 a year contract. I was scared shitless. I didn't know what to do. I didn't think I was going to succeed at it, and I didn't think I was like ready. Well, not that I didn't think I would succeed. I just didn't feel like I was ready. But are we really ever ready for the opportunity when it presents itself? The only way you'll know you're ready is if you just jump in and do it. So like, I burned the boats, I took over the island, went down there and said, I'm not going to try this, this is my plan, I'm going to succeed at it. And I am a firm believer of the law of attraction. What you tell yourself, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So just tell yourself good, positive shit every day of your life, and you'll see it come to fruition and happen. But whatever you tell yourself, you're right. You tell yourself you're awesome, you're right. You tell yourself you suck, you're right. So why not convince yourself to believe in yourself so other people do? And that's exactly what I did. I went down to this podunk area of New York State with one stoplight, and I built the number 7 office in the world out of a 200,000. We beat Boston that year, put it that way, like out of Elmira, New York. It's where Ernie Davis actually went to high school. If you've ever heard of Ernie Davis, football player, running back. Mark Twain was from Elmira too, but just an area that there's not a lot there, you know what I mean? So, but it was great because I got rid of the excuses and the distractions of me comparing myself to everybody I hung out with. You know what I mean? Like, you are who you hang out with. It's really who it is. You divide your best friend 5 incomes, that's your income. Like, you are the people you surround yourself with. So when I got rid of, and I love my friends from back home, don't get it twisted. I'll drive to Syracuse as often as I can to see them. But I realized that Syracuse didn't provide me what I needed. So going down to Elmira, that had less, but it made me focus. Then when I went back to Cuse and appreciated Syracuse more, we built the number 6 office in the world in 2015 and the number 1 office in the world in 2016. Out of 450 offices, we wrote $3.5 million that year in production. And then they offered me my own state, by my 30th birthday.
So this office right now, like, there's other offices?
Yeah, there's 405 offices in the country, and international. We're in New Zealand, New Zealand, all the Province of Canada, and the United States. Not Australia, excuse me. But, yeah, so I'm one of 90 SGAs. All right, so they put me in New England, not so much for any other reason other than the potential the territory had. And I love the grit of New England. I love the culture that's built around here. It's a beautiful diversity place, and people come from a lot of different experiences, which I love that about life. Like, way in upstate New York, you're a little more isolated. You come down here, there's culture everywhere, you know what I mean? It's one of the oldest, it is the oldest state in the country. Like, this is what it's all about, all of us, you know what I mean? So, and I just knew that the heart of New England is what I stand for. Is just, I didn't come from a rich family, but it don't mean I can't create one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's my goal, man. I don't make excuses. I just make moves, and there's no secret to anything in life. You just gotta want it more than the people you're competing with, and be prepared to outwork them if they're more talented than you. Simple as that, man. But when talented people work hard, records get broken. So it's like, surround yourself with the people that force you to grow, you know what I mean? Because if you're the best person on your team, who's going to push you in practice every day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I like those Rudy mentality people, the people that had to do the walk-on and push that naturally talented person that never had to try in their life, and that brings the dog out of them. You know what I mean? That's who I love the most, is the people that people count out, and I like to count on them. You know what I mean? Because that's who's going to give you the most, the people that appreciate it. Like poverty to me is the best thing that can happen to anybody to make you great, because you don't take anything in life for granted when you've been in a position where you had nothing. I'm blessed that I wasn't impoverished to say it, but my dad lost his job at Kodak when I was 12 years old. He went from making 70 grand a year to 35 grand a year overnight. Your life changes upside down real quick, you know what I mean? Watched him, beat drinking, you know what I mean? He's been 20 years sober. So it's like the pains that we all have, and I'm sure we can share each other's, you know what I mean? But it's just that's what makes us the men we are, I don't take any of my mistakes for granted. I don't take any of the bad shit that's happened to me for granted, because I needed that to become the man that I still want to be, you know what I mean? You just gotta think big. The problem is we think too fucking small.
Yeah.
It is. You are what you think, So it's like, and we're brainwashed by teachers and people that are getting paid 40 grand a year, except for they're the ones molding the minds of the youth and trying to get these kids to believe in themselves, when if they really believed in themselves, you know what I mean? It's just, I just don't get it. To me, it's like they box us in, like they're training us all to work in factories like it's 1950. Like, every kid is different. To force us to be in the same type of crap that we're dealt with like that, man, that's a joke. It's like, you got to think outside the box, challenge the man. If you're not questioning society and what's happening, you're fucking sheep, because they lie to us every day.
Yeah.
You got to read between the gray and just believe in yourself and go, but believe in other people too. It's like, so many people just want to feel like that, I got to just do me. Dude, if everybody had that mentality, where the hell would we be as society? You gotta pull the next man up and give them what you didn't have, so they pay that forward to your next generation, And it's, to me, I like to be a trampoline, not a backpack full of cement on my team. I want to be a shoulder for you to jump and jump higher than I ever got. Because when I die, my legacy is how many people I turned on. And a good friend and guy I look up to, his name is Zach Hart. He's a savage. But he said one thing to me that I'll never forget. He goes, Nick, if your book ended tomorrow, would anybody read it? And I say that to myself every day of my life. I'm like, if today was my last day, would I regret what I did? Because you never know, you know what I mean? Only the man upstairs knows when our time clock is up. So you just gotta live with no regrets and just get it, you know? And I don't regret anything. I just do and try to get it.
Yeah, man, I like that. My fault. I gotta.
You're good, man.
Choose this bag.
No, you're good. Yeah, you want a water? I'm gonna snag a water. You want some? You want me to top you? Good?
Yeah, a little bit.
So you got 2-a-days going on right now, or what?
Right now it's just so. Right now we just had a little mini camp the other day.
Oh, cool. How's the squad looking?
We're good. The oncoming classes. So I don't know if you knew. I don't know if you actually. The biggest thing that changed. It was funny. I was having this conversation with my coach the other day. He was so like he would ask like the old players, kind of like, hey, like what happened last year, like, and the old players could just kind of be like, we didn't buy in, and the question he would ask them back, I was like, why, you know, and I still don't know why we didn't buy in, you know. I think for the previous coaching staff, it was so much of a relationship, like it was a true relationship, and we still see them, like we play 7-7 against Holy Cross,
Yeah.
and so we still see them, and we still see the old coaches, and you know.
Does it kind of hurt a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, they recruited you guys.
I think that, and I said that to me, like for me at least, I committed to Assumption like halfway through the summer, and the only other school that was looking at me was Springfield.
Okay.
And like they gave me an opportunity. You know, I didn't. When I committed, I didn't even know I was technically a walk-on. I didn't until
Really?
like later on. No, not at all.
Okay.
And
You were a walk-on. I love it, man. Love it.
And it's funny. He said like, "Hey, why don't you for running back?" I said, "Oh, no, I want to play defense. Like defense is defense is my shit." And he said like, "Hey, like, yeah, but when you go against a 6'6" tight end," and I'm like, "We'll see." But he kind of like say like, "Hey, like, we'll give you the first year if you see like you got potential to keep your safety." It's still his safety.
Love it.
You know, but yeah, it was a breakup, you know, more than anything. I mean, what was tough for me, at least, like my position coach called me, kind of told me what was going on, like he was gonna.
So you didn't even get it from the main.
Nah, the main guy was just
Yeah.
sauce.
It's like your girlfriend's mom telling you she's breaking up with you. You know what I'm saying, though? Like,
It was that, and so like when the head guy left, he kind of took the assistant coaches with him.
Yeah.
Like my position coach, like he went with him, and like honestly, like everybody left that year. Like our offensive coordinator went to Endicott. He took our other defensive assistant. Now he's the defensive coordinator at Endicott. Like our coaching staff got stripped down, and but at the end of the day, it's just. My goal for our league is to win the national championship.
go, baby.
You know, I've never won a job. Technically, in my time that we've won like a conference championship or two, I still haven't taken my ring from a coach, cause like I wanna win the big one, and then we can, you know, take the small one. But
I like your mentality. I mean, you know, but be proud of everything you accomplish. You know what I mean? It's the true definition of success to me is just giving everything you got in the time you put in. It doesn't matter what the score is. If you know that you didn't leave anything left, you left it all out on the field, you won that day. That's got to be the mindset, man. It's like, because so often, you know, we're so focused on one thing, but you're then missing the small details that help you win. You know what I mean? You just got to give it out. Like, that's John Wooden. Have you ever been Wooden on leadership? You know who John Wooden was?
yeah,
Won 11 out of 13 national championships in 13 seasons as a head coach in college basketball at UCLA. So he had a run. 11 out of 13 years won national championships in NCAA basketball. You know, for the first hour every season of practice, he made his players put on socks for an hour straight. You know why he would do that? A couple main things that I got out of it. One was the culture of, listen, this is how we do it. But not one of his players got blisters because they knew how to put on socks correctly and play a game. Even a blister would take Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know what I mean, make him run a little bit slower. So it's like interesting that, you know, that's the type of the stuff. And you being the senior leader and bringing the team together, It's a family, dude. You live and die together. You gotta be brothers in arms, and that's gotta be what it comes down to. It doesn't matter how much talent ever. It's the heart of the team. You know, I don't believe in like the Chinese army. I believe in the Spartan army. I don't need 300 million people in my business to be the best team. I need the right people in my business to be the best team, and that's what it comes down to, is the quality. You know, not the quantity. So it's like, you know, dude, you got your last hurrah right now, right? Your senior year?
Yeah, well, I'm my senior year, then I got a 5th year.
Okay. Oh, so did you redshirt a year, so you got another year? Good for you, bro. So you got another year eligibility left? You got time to do it, baby.
Yeah, man.
Let's go. It comes to you, though. Like, if you feel like you need the coaches to create a culture.
Oh, yeah, no, we established that. It was kind of after the season. And kind of like the players in my grade who like are now going to be in the positions of like leaders this year. We were just kind of just talking because we all kind of lived in the same dorm.
Yeah.
We all kind of hung out in the dorm.
Of course.
We was talking. It was like we just gotta stop putting on coaches, like, because at the end of the day, like, we can't. If you lose a game, like, we lose a game. We can't put on coaches.
Own it. There's a good saying. It's not the arrow, it's the Indian. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean by that? Like, you can't blame the arrow that misses the target. It's the person that shot it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you just gotta. Once you guys all take ownership, the excuses disappear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, to me, like, someone that brings problems to me with no solutions, you're just complaining. If you're not going to bring a solution with the problem, get the hell out of my office. I want nothing to do with you. Now, I don't care if you have the wrong solutions, but I want to know you're trying to find the right one. And that's what I'm here for. But if you just come to me with a problem and nothing about it, you're just bitching. There's the door. I don't have room or time for that in my life, man. You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta really just make sure that the people that, you know, for creating a dynamic championship culture, it comes to winning and training. You guys are gonna build a championship team in practice, in the fucking locker room, in the gym, not on the field. That's a byproduct to what you prepared for. You know what I'm saying? And if you are the best practicers, you'll be the best performers. Perfect practice creates a perfect performance. You guys gotta just roll up the sleeves, buckle up, put your noses down, and when you put your head up, you'll be in the fucking end zone at the end of the season, exactly where you want to be. But you got to have blinders on for the next 6 months, stud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The season starts now. That's where you win. Like, to me, I'm already in 2020, bro.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about how I win 2020. If I haven't dominate, I don't compete. I dominate, or I'm not doing it right. Competing, that ain't my style, dude. I dominate. I want to punch number 2 so hard in the mouth, they're afraid to talk about number 1. Like, my shit is clear. By the fall, I've won my category for the year. So the cool part about what we do is it's competition, because there's 90 SGAs, so they break us into categories. So you're competing with the category people that are the same agency size as you. Like, last year, we were Startup Agency of the Year. We were number 1 in our category. We took the biggest jump out of any SGA. We jumped 3 categories to category 7. We're dominating category 7. We haven't lost a month yet. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be the smallest, you know, fish in the bowl, because that means I got room to grow. If I'm the biggest, I gotta up my game. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you guys gotta like hold yourselves accountable. That, dude, if you're training and playing like you're D1, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's gotta be your mindset. So when you're going against, because Assumption's D2, I think you told me, right? Dude, you gotta just punch those dudes in the mouth. That they're like, we gotta up these guys' level. You know? And if it gets tough, that means you're all leveling up. If you guys aren't drained after practice, if dudes aren't exhausted, if they're not throwing up from exhaustion, they ain't working hard enough. You know what I mean? Champions are made in the gym, not the court, you know, not the field. So I love sports, as you can tell. You know what I mean? It's just, I wasn't the biggest dude, but I was a hustler, bro. I was a scrapper.
You play football?
I played every sport you can think of. Football, basketball, lacrosse, baseball, you name it, I played it, dude. And like, my only regret, like, if I knew now what I knew then, I wish I trained harder. I wish I practiced harder. I wish I studied harder. Because I didn't become elite at anything until I got into the professional world. Because I was naturally gifted at shit, so I was lazy, dude. It was my best friend breaking his neck and spine, realizing that, what am I taking life for granted for? There ain't no do-overs. If I could go back and do it all over again, I mean, knowing what I know now, I don't know if I would, I mean, I don't know if I even would, because who knows if I'd be where I am now, and I'm love my life, man, I'm blessed as hell. But at the end of the day, I wish I dug deeper, and like the writer of Charlie Brown had a saying that, like, every human being has 10 gears to a bicycle. it's heartbreaking that most people never go past gear 5. We all got more left in the tank. No matter how hard you feel like you're putting in, you got more left. Are you looking for it and finding it? And it's going to come when you're exhausted, when you feel like giving up or quitting. That's when you go to the next level. You know what I mean? It's the people that, when it gets tough and scary, that's when they flight. They don't fight. You know, to me, after seeing what my brother Matt went through, and that'd be another guy you definitely got to get on an interview, dude. You know, like just, you don't take shit for granted when it gets taken from you. You know what I mean? There's someone you love. And I feel like every man in their life has that fork in the road where you're faced with that adversity that changes your life forever. But you got to decide what path you take that day that it happens. And to me, like, I don't know how you feel about luck. I don't believe in luck. I feel like luck is a simply result of timing and preparation. Are you prepared when the timing comes that you create your own luck? You know, people that say, oh, you're lucky. Bullshit, I'm lucky, dude. I created it. When you were wiping crust out of your eyes, I was 3 hours into my day. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you get up at 4 a.m., you know, to 7 a.m., if you get up at 4 a.m., you give yourself an extra 60 days a year of hours. Think about that, bro. It's actually, think about that. You know, do the math on that. It's like crazy. So you got to really, you got to pour it in and get it. You know what I mean? You just got to want it and get it. But that's what it's all about, dude. It really is, man. So, oh, it's fucking crazy when you reflect back on everything, you know? But we're still so young, dude. You got so much out of you.
How old are you?
I'm only 32.
32, yeah.
I turned 32 a few months ago.
Nice.
So, and that's it, man. I grew up, big family, like 3 brothers and sisters. If I wanted new shit, I had to freaking work for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that everybody goes, oh, I wish I had a single child, I wish I had siblings. Like, we all wish we had it better. I'm sure. How many times you wish you had brothers and sisters growing up? But, you know, it's kind of like one of those things that it forced me to just take care of myself, you know? When you got a big family, it's easy to kind of just get, not lost in the mix, you know what I mean? But you're not, like, everything all about you. So it forced me to kind of really have to, take care of my younger siblings, you know what I mean? Because I did, but it forces you to figure it out, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So like, tell me about your business endeavors, like.
So, yeah, man. So really, the biggest thing why I love this industry, it's renewals, residual income, right? So, like, are you familiar? Well, you are familiar with like royalties, right? You're a football player.
Yeah.
Let's say they sell your jersey even after you're retired. Every time they sell a jersey off the shelf, you get paid. Well, that's what my industry brings to the table. So I get residual income. Like a big scare for our generation is retirement, right? I don't know. You're about 10 years younger than me, so I don't know how often you guys talk about it, or how much they bring it up in school nowadays. About
I'm definitely I'm educated on it. I definitely want to like start putting action towards it. I don't know what we were talking about. I was talking to my friend about those 401ks and what's the other one?
So there's 401ks, there's Roth IRAs.
Yeah, Roth IRAs.
Yep.
You saw like a Roth IRA and how like you could do that now and like you could actually still be able to take money from it. Compared to like a 401k, you couldn't.
Yeah, well, you actually can't take it out of a Roth either. You pay a penalty. Yeah. So, what happens is like when you invest money, like a SEP account is a self-employed pension fund, which I couldn't. I made too much money to keep pouring into. What is it? Not a Roth IRA. Roth IRA. So you could do $5,500 a year. Well, I used to do that January 1st. But then once I jumped to the next tax bracket, you know, when I started making over half, $1 million a year, you can't pour into that anymore. So then I had to switch to a SEP account, which is a self-employed pension. So SEP, you know. So long story short, man, you just don't want your money sitting in a fucking bank.
Yeah.
Like it takes money to make money, but the problem is scare money don't make money.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I emptied out my retirement account at 29 years old. I literally had over 100, and it was building great interest, over 11% a year for me. My money was making me money, and I emptied that out, took a 35% penalty cut, and went broke to try to get rich, man. But so many people, they're afraid to do that, and that holds them back. You know, so it's like, you got to have the vehicle to get to where you want to go, but you got to see where you're driving to, or you ain't going anywhere, you know. So it's like you have to have the plan. In my opinion, that's why I have 3 houses. You know what I mean? So I love the rental world. Is like it's reoccurring income. But my industry brings residual income. So every time a policy gets written, I get paid on that for the rest of my life and their life. So if they pass away, obviously I'd stop getting paid. If I died, that renewals would go to my parents. So right now I got cleared accounts. I get between 8 and 20 grand a month in residual income cleared accounts. So if I quit tomorrow, my accounts would clear after about 1.5 years. I'd get roughly 30 grand a month. So that's what life insurance can provide, but it's about service. If I don't answer my client's call, or if my agents aren't doing a good job and people cancel, we don't get that renewals. So your renewals is like almost like your report card of how well you're keeping people happy. And to me, I'm a service over self. I just drove to UMass Memorial Hospital on Wednesday as the owner of the company to help out one of my agent's clients with a claim. I didn't have to do that. It's not in my responsibilities. I did it because I love to help people. And I didn't want that dude stressed out. He's out of work now for freaking 9 months because some guy cut him off on the road on his motorcycle and he ended up in the ICU for a week. We got him paid $4 grand because we pay you $500 every night you're overnight and $1,000 per night for ICU. So he got paid the money. He was in ICU for 6 days. And actually, he had the old A71. Now the new policy that we sell is bigger amount, so he got $600 a day. That's why he got the $4 grand. It was $3,600 for 6 in ICU, $300 for overnight. But long story short is, the residual income piece of things is the key. So every time I protect and help somebody, every time one of my agents do and I train and teach them correctly, I get paid on that for the rest of my life. I won't work a day on the grind like I do now past 40. Like I have big plans. I'm going to get into politics someday, but not do it based on money motives, because I've seen so many different walks of life, from electrical engineers to the single mom with 3 kids on welfare that's trying to put herself through school. It's like I've been introduced to so many types of people that I feel like I would crush it, because I'm going in it thinking about the love of all of them, not trying to get a paycheck or some lobbyist putting money in my back pocket. So my goal is to be a multi-millionaire before I ever get into politics, so they can't say, you know, look at, he had 500 grand worth and now he's worth 500 million. I wonder how he got that, and I'm a politician, like they're all these corrupt people are. You know, how can they all retired millionaires on $130,000 a year salaries or whatever it is, 184 grand a year a congressperson makes, and they retire millionaires? If me and you did that, the IRS would be like, you're doing something shady. But they do it, and now they're on posters and billboards. And we're sitting here working, grinding around the clock, and they're just freaking corruptly taking advantage of all. I mean, I'm big in all that stuff too, dude. I'm really awake when it comes to the bullshit. Like in the medical world, they want to talk about free health insurance. Do you know why our premiums are so high? It's because the treatment they charge, they're overcharging, and the insurance companies are in bed with the hospitals. So they're going to say, hey, listen, like, we're going to charge you $500,000 to treat your patient, and we'll give you a kickback. So we're going to charge you 200 grand more. We'll give you 100 grand. We take 100 grand. And really, who has to pay the price is us in premiums. Like, we could provide health insurance to everybody out there in a way if we weren't getting taken advantage of. We're just overcharged. But they want to talk about the symptoms, right? Not what's causing the disease. Nobody talks about the real shit. They just talk about the stuff that keep the sheep busy and talking, you know? So it's like, that is my ultimate big picture goal. But, you know, I'm doing it just based on doing things the hard right way. I'm establishing my, like, I'm on a board at Syracuse University. And I went to a state school in upstate New York. I'm the only person on the board under age 40, or probably under, God, they're all in their 50s and 60s. 32. I was on the board at 31 with John Wildtack, the AD of SU, who was the second head analysis at ESPN for years. And just me and him connected, meeting each other. I didn't even know who he was until I knew until I was like, I'm Mr. Wildtack, the athletic director. I was just chatting with this guy, giving him ideas on how they can fill some seats for the games and stuff like that. And it's relationships is the key to the world, brother. It's not about what you know, it's who you know and how you can help each other. That's the secret, man. I'm very successful because I connect people together. That's all I do in my life. I'm a connector. You know, I connect clients to my insurance company and get paid to do it. I connect people together, right? And that's like, just like all I do is I relationship build. And then because I care about people, it all comes back to me. The universe takes care of me.
I like that, man.
You know?
I like
It's the key is relationships, dude. That's why I treat the janitor as good as the CEO. Because who knows, when you need anyone, you don't want to be that person that you only go to someone and be nice to them when you need something. Screw you. Be nice to everybody, because guess what, man? That's what life's all about. There's no do-overs. You know, when you're dead, no one gave a shit how much money you made or how much money you didn't make. They care about how much you cared. Like, people don't care about how much you know, they care how much you care. That's what's going to make people love you. Not because you're the smartest, because you care the most. Just, you be a good person. Help the next person up. Like, some people think you got to get to the top by stepping on people to get there. I got to the top just because I had a work ethic that was savage-like. You might be better than me, but I'm going to work so hard that eventually my skills will be better than yours. It might take me more time, though, and I was okay with that. I didn't pass my insurance exam the first time. I failed it twice. I didn't give up. You know what I mean? I failed it twice by a 150-question test. Failed it twice by a total of 3 questions. Never gave up, though. And it took me 2 weeks longer to memorize a presentation than most people, because I didn't realize how poor my memorization skills were. Now, I got really good at them. You know, so it's like, people, like, you know, think that you can't grow and turn your weaknesses into strengths, and I believe you can, but that's not my style. I'd rather turn my strengths stronger and surround myself with very strong people that make up for my weaknesses. I don't need to get good at computers when I got a whiz at them that I take damn good care of. Now I'm damn good at computers, because I got the best computer guy in the world by my side. So, you know what I mean? Strengthen your weaknesses with people that love to do that stuff, and then everybody's happy. Like, did you see anyone in my agency not smiling ear to ear and loving life? Like, seriously. Think about that. Every person I introduced you to, what was their energy to you? Because I got each one of them doing the shit they love. Some of them are really good at systems and like logistical stuff, paperwork, organization, so guess what they do? You know, then I got the people that are really good at motivating and spurring people. Guess what they do? I just try to help people identify their strengths and just focus on those. You know what I mean? And that's what's helped me build a dynamic team. I just find the right people and help them find the right place for them on this team, and I get the hell out of their way. You know, I don't micromanage people. If I do, I'm in the wrong business. You can't control people, but you can control systems. So if you put pressure on the system, you don't have to put pressure on the people.
What do you mean by put pressure on the system?
So like to me, everything in my life is a habit, it's a system, right? So like, if you're not following the system, like let's say the system is, hey, you gotta run 24 appointments a week, and you're falling short running 16 appointments a week. Well, if I beat you up for doing that, you're gonna resent me, and you're not gonna wanna learn and grow, right? But if I go, listen, brother, we gotta get you to understand why you need 24 appointments a week, and the difference, you're making 2/3 of what you wanna make because you're missing 1/3 of that activity. So what we can do together as a team is put pressure on that system of activity, and let's fix that. So I want you to tell me what you think you can commit to doing better. And then I'll hold you accountable to it. All right? But when you put pressure on people, people break. But when you put pressure on a system that's strong and everybody buys into it, the system will take care of the team. So we don't put pressure on our people here, we put pressure on the system. Because if you do it my way and you fail, you can blame me. But if you do it your way and you fail, whose fault is that? When you do it, and it's not my way, it's the way that works that I literally stole from people that were more successful than me and put my personality and spin on it. But the best people in the world, in business for that matter, the best plagiarizers out there, they're not fucking original. They just listen to